I've been asked to be a wandering minstrel for the 21st century, and I'm making a 10-day journey through Devon and Cornwall. I started a song about the face of change in the southwest, and now I need to come up with the completed lyrics and talk to some more people. People like John Mappin, a successful publisher from London, who owns the hotel above these hills, and he's fallen in love with this part of Cornwall. So I'm halfway through the journey, and I'm happy with the basic lyrical and musical ideas that I've got. People seem to like them. The difficulty is going to be to generalize specific images and give them a universal appeal without being folksy or nostalgic. Still, we're heading south now, and there's still some more people to meet and some time left, so onward with the journey. I made the faces, I stared at them fade, and if I'm not careful, it's just how I stay. But the sky in the distance was gentle that day. I started my journey. And there's a sort of middle eight about if the county is frozen in time, but that's still to be sorted.
That's beautiful.
One of the lines I've tried to get in the song is that the world is there now to be caught in the net, as it were.
Yes.
Obviously the fishing image as well.
You've created a beautiful dichotomy between the trap of modern communication systems and the freedom that an artist brings to the world.
There was a day when you must have come along the headland and saw this building. And can you remember what struck you, what your impression?
You know, I can. It was vivid, actually, because there was just this vision in the mist. We saw this building in the fog, and something clicked.
But you've got a vision for this place, haven't you? You were saying as a centre for...
Yeah, absolutely. The whole idea is to create a place where people can come and be inspired.
Music and literature, or the whole...
music, writing, some wonderful painters here, and people actually now starting to come here from all over the world.
The ideas that you've brought to this place, and the image that a lot of people have is that the Cornish are resistant to change and not very flexible. You've not found that to be a problem?
Actually, completely the opposite.
The opposite.
And to be honest, we couldn't do this project without the local people and without their help and without their assistance. So it's great fun.
John's business sense should make this venture a success, but there was a time when the land itself broke and made the fortunes of others. Hard work and honest labour created the quarries and the tin mines of the West, and they brought prosperity here. But boom was followed by bust, and recession and depopulation inevitably followed. So Cornishmen crossed the globe to find work, and they were known all over the world as Cousin Jacks. We're always being told that we're living through an unprecedented time of social and economic upheaval. But when you consider the forces that created this particular landscape, and you ask yourself, what happened to the men that worked here and the families that were dependent on them, you realise that the West Country has always been in a state of flux and transformation, and there is nothing new under the sun. This land is barren and broken, scarred like the face of the moon. Our tongue is no longer spoken, and the towns all around face a ruin. Will there be work in New Brunswick, or will I find gold in the cave? I can tunnel way down to Australia, but oh, I will never escape. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's what I'm heading for, that's where I'm bound. I'm leaving the county behind, and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, Cousin Jack. I dream of a bridge across the Tamar, and it opens us up to the east. I see the English living in our houses. I see the Spanish, and they're fishing in these seas. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's what I'm heading for, that's where I'm bound. I'm leaving the county behind, and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, Cousin Jack. Come on, follow me down, Cousin Jack. You should follow me down. The next stage of my journey takes me deep into the mid-Devon countryside near Winkley. And here Sam Howard and Robin Sedgwick are part of a new era in farming.
What are you waiting for? For everything to fall on the floor. What are you waiting for? For everything to come crashing at your door. Why don't you settle down? Or will you keep coming back for more? Sooner or later, anger will make me hit the floor.
Sam, you came down here from Bristol.
Yes.
Does it seem like a world away?
It does.
It's only 60 miles.
Yeah, no, it is a world away.
In terms of what?
The pace of life.
Yeah.
That was the most, the sort of first thing we noticed. It took us about a year to actually. Everyone was saying, slow down, slow down.
You wanted to get everything done straight away.
Yeah.
It doesn't work
But
like that.
it doesn't
in the
actually
country.
happen like that. And we've really, after 4 years now, we're well settled into the slow pace of life. But it's about 20 years behind.
Do you want to stay like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Why don't you settle the score? Or will you keep running like before? One straight look in the eye. Tell me the truth, don't give me lies.
I was looking enviously at your threshing barn. You've got plans for that place?
We have. We would dearly love to...
Threshing or threshing?
Threshing barn. We would love to, if possible, convert that barn into a small music venue and have sort of blues acts and folk and just a few events a year. And I think that there are a lot of people living around here who really do love their music, and you know, there needs to be more places, I think, more places for people to play, really. So it's sort of one of our dreams. 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days.
Music clearly has a place in the future of this farm, and Robin has also embraced the concept of stewardship of the land, combining conservation and regeneration work with breeding red deer. Formerly a dairy farmer, he's experienced at first hand recent upheavals in the industry. Maybe he could help me with my tricky second verse. I'll tell you, what I really need your advice on is one particular line. I've got those who work on the land being shaken by forces, and it's either we can't understand or they can't understand. And what worries me is if I say, you are being shaken by force, you can't understand, whether that comes over as something that's slightly patronising or...
No, I think we can understand. And we are, I think, taking steps, or a lot of farmers taking steps to overcome these problems. We understand clearly that we have a change afoot, and it's been moving for some while, and if you ask the average farmer, he will tell you so.
All right, because I could make it, they're being shaken by forces they now understand.
Yes, I think
and that
so.
would hit it on the head,
absolutely.
wouldn't it? Okay, do that. If I just shout out the chords out on the first verse, and it's basically the same, and the chorus is an E minor, C and D. Well, we'll see what happens. It'll be G, D, A back to G, and same again. To G, and again. And A minor. second verse now. Let those who work on the sea and the land, shaken by forces they now understand, where the fruit of their labour is poured through their hands, and the countryside borders the town, and the wind changes. Sam and Robin are planning gigs for the future, but there are other venues tucked away in the countryside even now. On the first leg of my journey, 2 Dartmoor farmers recommended that I should drop in on North Bovey on my way back home. Richard and Carl told me about this pub called the Ring of Bells, where groups of musicians meet and they play different styles of music and performance. And I'm going to go and see what's happening there. Maybe play something myself. Oh, and obviously have a couple of pints. Does that have a title then?
Hasn't even got an ending yet.
No, I noticed. I've got a song. I've always been told it was an American traditional song. It's one of those E minor rundowns. Jump aboard. The winter's gone and the leaves are green. The winter's gone and the leaves are green. Your pretty face. Bit of guitar. Cool jazz rhythms for a lazy afternoon. But when the evening comes, anything goes. Digging down, down, down.
As the sun sets on England,
Lift up your voices and raise up your glass. They gave the road builders a kick up. Well, the word's gone out and performers have come out of the hills to play in all sorts of styles.
One more bull boys.
Acoustic music is alive and well in little hamlets like North Bovey, and this particular night is going to live in my memory long after the journey's finished.
Yep. Bumping boys. Knock him out.
Not far from North Bovey, I came across a magical place that still echoes with voices from the past. A single-minded individual has reopened the quarry, and it once supplied Dartmoor's greatest houses. After years of struggle, he's realised his dream of bringing life back to the site, still preserving its natural beauty. Hey Leo, what brings a Dutchman to a quarry on the edge of Dartmoor?
Well, just look around you.
Yeah.
Just the hills. Holland is quite flat, as you know.
It is, very flat. Not many quarries there.
You know, in Holland, anything over this, we call a mountain. Because you live 6 feet below sea level, and here we are, over 1,000 feet above sea level.
Can you remember the first day you walked in here and saw this place?
Yeah, that was after a couple of years we lived in the neighborhood, because I was so busy working away from home. My partner, Chris, and the children, they used to come here on a quite regular basis. There's a lot of fishing, swimming. And one day they took me down here and I thought, God, this is it.
Yeah.
But it was owned by a big London company, and I didn't think I would have a chance ever to buy something like this. I started negotiating with the firm, and before we knew it, we had it.
What's your principles now that you're working here? Are there certain procedures and ways that you want to work? Things that you won't do and things that you will do?
You don't want to despoil the quarry. We love nature. There's lots of animals in here. You know, we've got them brooding geese on the nest. Small scale. No damage to the environment. Just keep it nice. You know, as long as we make a living, it should be all right.
Leo's story here at the quarry is typical of many that we've heard on this journey. Men and women, some from the West Country, some from outside it, struggling to make a living in the face of the changes that are affecting the region, and in the process becoming or considering themselves to be West Country people. I want to try and get into the song this idea that the change is affecting everybody and that people aren't alone in facing it, and that's really going to be the challenge. Well, I'm coming to the end of my journey, and tomorrow night I have to play this song in public down at Topsham. So, in Exeter High Street, I thought I'd stop some shoppers and ask them what they thought of it.
Yeah, very well.
Not a bad reaction, and someone even recognised me. But playing in public on a stage is a different ballgame.
Give us your phone number, that'd be great.
Can you believe how famous I am? It's just like... Well, that wasn't too bad. But I'm not sure this guitar is giving me the rich sound that I need for this song. So, up in his garden shed north of Exeter, David Oddie's been working on an instrument for me, and he says it's going to do the job. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Right, Steve, you can put that one down over at this.
And the difference is, apart from
better.
the price, it is. Gosh, it's lighter, isn't it?
And it's made of a different wood.
What is this? This is maple?
That's maple, yeah, Canadian. That one's rosewood.
Yeah.
This will give you the sound you want, I hope.
It's a sweet sound, isn't it? Gosh,
Nice separation.
I've been writing this song for the last 9 days or so, all about the West Country and changes it's seen and people that have moved down here. And I'll put the guitar in a tuning so I can get this really good deep drone. And I'm just going to shift the chords on top of the constant drone for the first part of it. So in a way I could have played it on the cello mandolin. G going. So, just 24 hours away from the debut of this song, and I have to put the final bits and pieces together. I'm going to be playing it live on Topsham Quay with Phil Beer. We're called Show of Hands, by the way. Then never leaving again. I think I'm just about there, really, having spoken to Rob and to John, polished up the verses, the opening verses. And the idea for the final one is that the heart of the West Country beats strong with fresh blood, I suppose, that's brought to it, if that's not too gory. And also, when people say it's where they're from and not where they're heading, they must feel at home. And a new little musical turnaround, which would be something like an I'm never leaving, or they're never leaving, or we're never leaving, or whatever. A few more hours of polishing, then I'll take it to Phil, and then he'll probably ruin it. froze my face as I stared at the bay, thinking what if it changes, that's how I will stay. But the breeze in the morning was gentle the day I started the journey. Met those on the sea and those on the land, shaken by forces they now understand that the fruits of their labor must stay in their hands, be taken back into the town. For the wind changes for all of us. On whole ways of living the sun has now set, 'cause we're trapping the world in our wires and our nets, and the broker and baker on the harbour side nets to haul it back onto dry land. For the wind changes for all of us. And if the face of this county had frozen in time, we'd still have the poorhouse and children in mind. Slave ships off Portland, labourers bound to the soil. Oh, bless the wind.
Well, we're on the quay at Topsham. I've done this song. 10 days of travelling and meeting people. I think it works. You can't really tell first time through. But it's been a really interesting journey, and I'm shagged.
Now the heart of the West is still beating strong, when strangers will tell you it's where they belong. Not where they're heading, but where they come from, and they're never leaving again.